Okay, so we got some Black Ops 1 free-for-all gameplay here. I haven't been playing much Black Ops 1 to be honest with you. As you'll see, I'm quite a low level. I haven't really sort of ranked up very highly. And I've actually had this gamer tag for quite some time now, so it just goes to show how much I don't actually play this game. But you know what, I pop back every now and then, and when I do, I actually think, God, things are really quite fun. It's another one of those. Black Ops 1 for me is another sort of Modern Warfare 3. You either catch it on a good day, or you catch it on a pretty miserable day. And the night I was actually playing this game, which was a couple of nights ago, everything was smooth, everything was good. I was actually pulling host on all the games, and there was guys from everywhere, all over the world in my lobby. And I didn't really feel as though I had a major advantage over them, but I felt as though it was an even playing field. Even though I kind of ran the 4-bar and everybody else was on a sort of 3 and 2, I still died when I was careless, I suppose. So yeah, it was a good night of gaming. This was, and I actually came away and thought, wow, that was a good time. A good time was had by all, apart from the people I beat. But hey, that's how it goes. You win some, you lose some, and that's just the way it is. So yeah, I used the Galil with the suppressor, and I wanted to get that win, and I wanted to rank up and get the AK-47 and Commando and start really having some fun with it. Because I don't know what it is about the Commando in Black Ops 1, but it's a good rusher's gun. Some of these assault rifles, even with sleight of hand pro. Never really felt as if you could kind of rush and effectively get your gun up and get challenged with it. Sorry, you would get challenged with it, but could never really lay out the challenge for other people. You almost had to take it a little bit steady. And yeah, but obviously one of the things I love about free-for-all in Black Ops 1 is the fact that you can use Ninja. Now, Ninja in this game, the sound whoring in this game was strange. It was like you can't really hear other people's footsteps very loudly. It was quite quiet, and I think that's just a Treyarch thing. But if you don't run Ninja, your own footsteps are almost bloody deafening. It's like you can really hear the clunks of yourself. And if you're playing something like Team Deathmatch or a sort of objective type game, then you can hear everybody else's on your team's footsteps, but the enemies don't seem to stand out. So that's the sort of encouragement to use Ninja in this sort of free for all, is the fact that you don't want to deafen yourself and almost create an element of confusion. But one thing I loved about Black Ops 1, and I always seem to forget about this when I talk about Call of Duty perk balance and things. I tend to go to Modern Warfare 2 because I guess I'm probably a little bit biased. But the one thing I love about Black Ops 1 is I think they really had it on the money when it comes to perks. Obviously, Second Chance Pro to one side. Everything else had a good balance to it. And the one balance that I loved about it, and it almost made me want to prestige effectively, because I wanted to go through that whole challenge of getting those perks again. It was a grind, but I wanted to go through the challenge of it, and that was getting the pro perks. Because it wasn't just a case of get X amount of kills and you get the pro perks like it was in Modern Warfare 2. It was a case of you had to run a series of challenges. And Marathon, being my second favourite green perk, was such a challenge to get the Marathon Pro on that. I mean, you kind of had the extended sprint, but in order to get the unlimited sprint, I think if I remember correctly, you had to capture something like 10 flags or 20 flags in Capture the Flag. And that was hard. That was really difficult, because the way people, even though I said before I love Capture the Flag, I never really liked it too much in Black Ops 1, because the ghost bitches, as some people call them, tend to really camp the flag out. So obviously, you would kind of get close to the flag and think, oh my God, I'm going to do this. And then, you'd completely stop running. And obviously not having Marathon Pro, which is what you was effectively leading up to get yourself, really made it more of a grind than normal, I suppose. But I think the main reason that this game is actually sort of quite temperamental with the way it plays is, I guess, because of the lack of people online that are playing it. So it obviously can't really pigeonhole you in any sort of server where you're playing with local people. You tend to be playing with people from everywhere, and that can almost create a really strong element of lag, not just for me, but for everybody. And that's a shame, because even though Black Ops 1 was sort of an acquired taste, it wasn't everybody's cup of tea. For me, I loved it. When it was in its prime, I did really enjoy it. There was things about it, like every other Call of Duty, that sort of stood out to be quite an annoyance. Obviously, Second Chance Pro being the main one. I know a lot of people didn't like Ghost. They didn't really bother me too much. I wasn't too arsed about Ghost. But Second Chance Pro was, oh God, horrendous. It always makes me laugh when you talk about how people say pistols in Black Ops 1 were shite. They had no effective place in that game whatsoever. And it's like, no, they really weren't that good, but they sort of stood out for exactly what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be a secondary. This is what I keep saying. You're not supposed to run a pistol as a primary. But pistols in Black Ops 1 were sort of, they did exactly what they said on the tin. You hoisted it out whenever you really needed to. But when you went into Second Chance Pro, that pistol turned into a sniper rifle. It was fucking annoying. And I don't know why they did that, and I don't know why they never patched that. It's one of the old Treyarch things. They almost have it, but they never quite just get it. And I always used to think that Infinity Ward had the edge over Treyarch with the way they created their games. And again, that's just from being biased towards Modern Warfare 2. But in actual fact, in retrospect, when I look back on it, I think that Treyarch probably did have that edge. There's probably a lot less rage-inducing moments with Treyarch because they seem to almost have their hands on the ball and then they just let it slip out of there because there's so many good things in the game and it's just let down by the silly things. You know, one of the things being is that the sort of I suppose the GFX and the color palettes and everything, it's almost quite bright and cheery. Whereas is in Modern Warfare 2 and sort of Infinity Ward games, it's actually quite dull and dirgy, and it creates for that sort of real war feeling. You know, everything's destroyed and there's smoke, and it sort of makes for that. You know, we want you to be in the element of what Modern Warfare is like. Whereas Treyarch was quite colourful and cheery and like a cartoon. And I think that kind of had a bit of an attraction to it because it's sort of pleasing to the eye. Well, it certainly was for me, and that sort of made me want to play it a little bit more. But it was just those silly couple of things that sort of let it down. And that's a shame, that's a sad thing, because I certainly think I'd have been playing a lot more Black Ops 1. But you know what, hopefully Black Ops 3, I know is sort of, a lot of us are looking past and almost dismissing Advanced Warfare, and obviously a lot of us haven't played it. But certainly I hope Black Ops 3 they can kind of amalgamate all these different Treyarch games such as World at War, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1 and put them into one big pie, and it's going to be absolutely delicious, nutritious and fill our tummies full of goodness. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, guys. I know it's a bit different, but people wanted Black Ops 1, so you got some Black Ops 1, and I will see you later. Apocalypse done.